Okay, so we see that Yahweh told Abraham to walk through all the land, for he was going to give Abraham the land and to thy seed forever. And he promised Abraham that he was going to make his seed as the dust of the earth. Genesis chapter 13, verse 14 through 18. Now we're going to pick it up at Genesis chapter 15, where Abraham is complaining about a condition. After these things, the word of Yahweh came unto Abraham in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abraham, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abraham said unto Yahweh God, What wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and this steward of my house is this Eleazar of Damascus? And Abraham said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of Yahweh came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad, and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in Yahweh, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am Yahweh that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Yahweh God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? Now hold on to that verse right there, chapter 15, verse 9 of Genesis. Chapter 15, verse 8 of Genesis. This is Abraham asking Yahweh, how I know I'm going to inherit all this land and all his kids? What's the sign I'm going to be able to see that I'm going to be able to inherit these things? So I'm going to pick it up right now, Genesis chapter 15, verse 12. And this is the sign that Yahweh gave to Abraham to let him know his time to rule in the land that was promised to him from sea to sea. That's all of North Africa, including Israel and Jerusalem. No matter how much the historians like to lie, Israel and Jerusalem is in North Africa right next to Egypt. Now I'm going to pick it up at Genesis chapter 15, verse 12. This is Yahweh describing to Abraham how he was going to get the land. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham. And lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abraham, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years of slavery, people. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. So this was the promise gave to Abraham. Abraham didn't get the land back then. This is the promise right here. Your kids going to be enslaved for 400 years. They're going to be afflicted. And also the nation to whom they shall serve will I judge. And then they shall come out afterward with great substance. Okay, let's move on. We're going to take it to the promise that Yahweh gave Abraham. A promise of a seed. Because Abraham said, I'm going without no child. And the only heir I got is this kid from Damascus, because Yahweh has a law. If you don't have any children and the first male child is born in your house, that is your heir until you have one of your own. Okay. And when Abraham, Genesis chapter 17, and when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, Yahweh appeared to Abraham and said unto him, I am Almighty Yahweh, walk before me and be thou perfect, and I will make my covenant between me and thee, and I will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abraham fell on his face, and Yahweh talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abraham, but thy name shall be called Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. Okay, that's the promise, not of the land. Now we're looking for a son.
Get out of here.
Okay. And Yahweh, Genesis chapter 17, verse 15. And Yahweh said unto Abraham, as for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yeah, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Okay. So now we're going to look up Abraham's son Isaac. And Yahweh said on Genesis 17, verse 19, and Yahweh said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. So that is Abraham's son that was promised to him, was Isaac. And the everlasting covenant was established with him and not Ishmael, Abraham's older son, by Hagar, the bondwoman, because a bond or the son of a bondwoman cannot share the heir of the son of a free woman. But Ishmael was still blessed. So now we have Isaac. We still following the genealogy because Yahweh already told Abraham he was going to make a nation out of him. So we're still going to follow genealogy till we find this nation. Genesis chapter 25, verse 21. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren. And Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So Yahweh told her right there, the kids was already fighting in the womb. She's like, man, what is going on? He said, look, you got 2 nations in your stomach, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from the bowels. I mean, when these 2 twins come out, they're going to be looking totally separate from the bowels. You're going to be looking at them like, man, y'all brothers for real? Let's pick it up. Genesis 25, 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first, the oldest, the servant nation, came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So we see right here, there's a problem with this scripture. Can y'all see it? I mean, it specifically tells you in Genesis chapter 25, verse 23, that there was going to be 2 nations and 2 people was going to be separated from the womb with 2 different manners. But right here in the scripture, in the verse chapter 25 and 26, they tell you the 2 nations that's in the womb, Esau and Jacob. But they only tell you the manner of one child, which is Esau, who was red and hairy. And who was Esau? The eldest. And what verse 23 said, and the elders will serve the younger. So the oldest is the servant, and his manner is red and hairy. His nationality name is Esau, and his manner is red and hairy. Okay, so now we must find Jacob's color, because Jacob is a mystery through this Bible. See, if you can't understand these 2 children right here in the Bible, you might as well put the Bible down, because you don't even have anything accurate or correct. Okay, now we're going to dig up Jacob's whole background right now. Then we're going to come back to Esau and dig out his background so we can put the 2 children in their place today on earth. So we can look and behold and see who has done what. Okay, we're going to take it from Genesis 25 to Genesis chapter 32. And Jacob was left alone. I'm at Genesis 32, chapter 32, verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go